Hey, ya boils and ghouls, it's me, your old pal GG Grotesque, and I am back with another video. It's a different type of video today. I just wanted to talk to you guys about a game that came out last summer during June. Of course, if you guys can't already tell by the video playing here, it's Killer Klowns from Outer Space. But the reason why I started thinking about this game was the recent death of the Friday the 13th game. I say that it was a death, but it was just a um, absolute departure of a legacy. Probably one of the best asymmetrical horror games of that generation. And it had a very diehard fan base, not just a player base, but a fan base. These people were true fans of that game, and they're also true fans of horror in general. They played that game religiously. I mean, very, very religiously. Some of them played it almost daily. And I remember when Killer Klowns came out, the talk around it and in that community was of such that people were super excited and they were ready to play. That lasted for a little bit, but of course, them being super fans, they went back to their game, and now they're kind of disheveled, and I'm wondering where they're going to go, because a lot of them don't like games like Dead by Daylight. Some of them do like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, but not as much, because you have to rely on other people, and it doesn't have the same feel. It's kind of ultra serious. So I started looking through my library, and I had not forgot about Killer Klowns the game, but it just wasn't on the forefront of my mind. And then I seen it in my library, and I instantly became excited all over again. This game was an absolute blast when it launched, but during that time, I was a content creator for so many other indie horror games, and Ilphonic wasn't offering any official content creator roles for their game, so I just mainly set my focus into the content creation roles where I was, where I was an official creator for. So, but that didn't stop me from playing the game. I would stop back now and then on occasion to catch a few games. And then I noticed that the player base just started dwindling, and I didn't have time to really sink into the game while I was working on voice acting and working on my Twitch, and then of course trying to grow YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Blue Sky and so on and so on. So I could make a dozen reasons as to why I didn't play as much. But every time that I would come back, the player base, at least on PC, would be much smaller. I don't know what the numbers are for PS or Xbox, and I'm not going to speculate on that. I know that it's not healthy, just based off of the lobbies and stuff that I've been in, but it's not exactly small either. This is definitely a game that a lot of console players are playing, not so much PC players. So it got me wondering, why did these numbers drop, and what was leading to this? So I did what all good ghouls would do, and I set out to find a reason. So I re-downloaded the game, and after loading up the game, I started playing. I invited one of my good friends to come play some games with me, and I noticed that immediately right off the start, the lobbies were very small for survivors, right, on the survivor side, and it was full of poorly programmed bots, and I thought, well, maybe that is the reason why a lot of people don't do this. The player base has gotten small, and the bots are probably leading to it being harder to get away. That was kind of far from the case. Because whenever I actually started playing, none of that took away from the chaos of the game. I was still able to get out. I still had fun trying to escape, and then during the next few games, I was able to have the opportunity to become a clown and experience the other side, and had just as much fun chasing around these survivors, and having some really epic battles, and just laughing whenever they finally got me or I finally got them. And it was just a really good time. What I didn't do though was I didn't have the VoIP on, the voice proximity on, because just for my own sake, I know that gamers can sometimes say gamer words, so I don't know if there's some sort of toxicity in with that. I just know what kind of fun I was having personally whenever I shut out all the excess noise. And then I realized like 8 hours later, I had wasted my entire day just spamming games. I was laughing so hard at all the zany moments that each of these games produced as well. It made me realize how much I had missed this game and the excitement that I had the very first time that I had hit the launch button. There was so much nostalgia there, and this game didn't even come out, not even like 6 or 7 months ago. Whenever it did come out, we had, like, I'd lined up 10-player lobbies, and we would have groups of 7 or 8 small content creators just streaming together, and we were spamming quick match and having some of the most incredible fun times ever. And I think that that was one of the magical things about this. You could have like a 10-player lobby, and you could do those types of things. But despite that, there were a lot of criticisms, right? And some of the criticisms were from fans of other asymmetrical games like Dead by Daylight and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Regardless of those, this game is an absolute blast. Sometimes you have to drown out the noise and just focus on what the game is about, and that's kind of what I want to talk about, right? That's why I'm making the whole purpose of this video. This game is one of the most unique and enjoyable multiplayer experiences out there today. And I have played hundreds and hundreds of hours of both Dead by Daylight and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? And both of these games are very serious with extremely protective and passionate fan bases, and that's rightly so. But whenever I started looking into why Killer Klowns was performing so poorly, all I found on anything was just YouTube video after YouTube video of content creators that mained both of the previously mentioned games as their main content, and what these creators were saying. And these creators were saying things like Killer Klowns is the bottom of the barrel, and Killer Klowns has zero depth with no variety, which is kind of to be expected from that player base. Kind of, because I could say the same about either one of those. As so does their own communities. Those communities are always fighting between each other, because you always have killer mains or a survivor main, or a family main or a victim main, or whatever. And both of these community sides are always arguing about the balancing for each, pay to win perks, or pay to win characters, or whatever. And it's always the same arguments, and it becomes a very toxic place, a very toxic environment. And those of you that are very passionate about those games, you can't deny that there is toxicity within those types of arguments, and that there are toxic players, as is there probably are in Killer Klowns as well. But with that being said, there's no special perks, there's no special this, there's no special that. The balancing of the game just seems fairly well. You could say that it's survivor sided, which I could see from a point. But then again, I've played both sides, and I play both sides, and I just leave it on random, and both times I have fun, right? Instead of talking about TCM and DBD, maybe I should talk about why Killer Klowns isn't garbage like a lot of content creators from those communities have been saying, and talk about why it is an amazing game. So first of all, let's just look at Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game. It stands out as a fresh concept. It combines like this quirky, colorful charm of the Killer Klowns movie with fast-paced and strategic gameplay. So, as a killer clown, you can trap and abduct survivors in like some wild ways, right? So think circus-themed weapons, cotton candy guns, balloon dogs. It's just pure over-the-top fun. fun. I'm going to put that in quotation marks. Fun. On the survivor side, it's not about just running away. It's about strategy, teamwork, and using the environment to your advantage to outsmart the clowns or gang up on them. The setting, the tone, and the Killer Klowns universe itself create a completely different atmosphere compared to other same asymmetrical horror games. It makes it refreshing. It's like a refreshing change from games where all you can do as a survivor is press the spacebar button and run from unstoppable killers that will camp exits and hooks. Which leads me to, like, this elephant in the room, okay? So some folks of Dead by Daylight and Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game have had a lot of negative things to say about Killer Klowns from the Outer Space, and they claim that the gameplay is too chaotic, or that the game lacks depth, that the clowns are too squishy and shouldn't die, or that players shouldn't be able to escape as fast as they do. Other complaints lead on to how clowns don't have unique special abilities that separate them from the rest of the killers, but those things are just opinions. Now, they are subjective, right? It just depends on the type of game that you like, and those complaints absolutely overlook the game's core strengths. Yes, Dead by Daylight and Texas Chainsaw Massacre focus on more serious and more horror-driven experiences, and that's cool for fans of that style, but Killer Klowns isn't trying to be the same thing. It's embracing, like, this campy, fun roots, you know, and the gameplay reflects that. It's not just about tension. It's about chaotic, funny moments where you feel like you're in this ridiculous horror comedy. It's not meant to be this serious, competitive asymmetrical. This is even shown in the game's art style, its voice clips, its ambient sounds, the lore, just every aspect of this game screams, I am not those other two, and that should be respected. The complaints about the game often stem from people who want Killer Klowns to be something that it absolutely is not. And it is not this serious or ultra realistic game. And that's completely the point of Killer Klowns. The game knows exactly what it is. It's a wild, unpredictable, and colorful, asymmetrical experience that's designed for fun and laughs. If you want grim intense, then sure, yeah, Dead by Daylight might be the thing for you, right? Texas Chainsaw Massacre might be that thing for you. But if you're in the mood for some popcorn horror and unrelenting chaos, then Killer Klowns nails it. Hands down. Completely hands down. Since reloading this game, I put in over 20 hours of gameplay solo. And then many more hours with friends. Not once did I ever rage at this game or feel horrible about the state in which the game was in. Certainly, with all games, there needs to be some balancing and work with AI, maybe even matchmaking things in terms of being, loading into games where you're a bot that's already put into a cocoon. But those are just things that you have to sometimes deal with. And maybe they could add a few extra whimsical weapons in for both the humans and the clowns, but that doesn't mean that this game is complete dog water, as many are claiming. Plus, let's not forget the iconic clowns themselves, right? Their personalities, the insane weapons, and the overall sense of humor just makes this game really memorable. The fact that you can trap, abduct, and clownify survivors makes for such a unique twist on the genre that no other asymmetrical game really offers. Ultimately, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game, is about having a good time with friends, embracing its eccentric and embracing the bizarre world and just letting loose. Sure, it might not be everybody's cup of tea, especially for horror fans of more serious horror games, but that doesn't make it any less enjoyable or valuable as a game in its own right. So if you're looking for a fresh, if you're looking for fun, and if you're looking for hilarious, this is the asymmetrical experience for you. Killer Klowns from Outer Space is just an amazing choice. Forget the critics who want to compare it to other games that it's not, or compare it to other games that take themselves too seriously. This game is for those who want to have fun and let their inner clown out. The game has a private lobby mode, which is perfect for large groups of friends to play, and that's amazing. I know that there are other games that are coming out with much bigger lobbies because they realize now the potential for those types of collaborative gameplays, which small content creators like to do. So many times I've wanted to play Dead by Daylight with other content creators, but we run out of space for everybody, so then we have to rotate people in and out. It was the same with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We would have 7 people in there, but other people wanted to play. So, and even then, you have, you could have a good community night with this. If you have people that are part of a community, if you're a content creator yourself like I am, you could have people from your community come in and play the game with you. Yeah, 10 people, 10 players in a lobby is quite a bit. If you could rotate people in and out there too, if you wanted to. And I know personally I'm going to be setting up collabs within the next month, in the future, of small content creators, and we're just going to stream and have fun with this game. It's going to be great. I just know that this game is well worth the money. It was on sale not too long ago. I know that it's not on sale anymore, but I think it's worth it. And I don't think you'll regret owning a copy if you did own a copy. And if you already do, come back to the circus. Start causing some chaos. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Just drown out the noise and focus on having fun. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for listening to me rant. I hope you guys have a really good day. And until the next video, friends, stay spooky.